I have always been a huge fan of virtual reality, and though these days, this guy right here is my virtual reality headset of choice, the Oculus Quest 2, I started out with this thing right here. It's a little dusty because I haven't actually turned this on in quite a while. My PlayStation 4, I moved it recently to my bedroom, so it's kind of hard setting up VR in the bedroom. I decided to not move it. And besides, I don't really play PSVR these days anymore. I used to a lot. And I mean, it kind of shows here. I bought this on day one. I was so excited. I was following every piece of news that they dropped about the development of this thing back when it was called, what, Project Morpheus, if I remember correctly. I was so excited to have something that was more plug and play than other contemporary VR solutions of the day. If you tried to mess around with VR on PC, it's not quite so simple to use. So I was very excited for this. Though, like I said, I don't really play with my PSVR anymore. I'm very thankful that Sony decided to invest in this space. And it's not like the PSVR was ever a runaway hit. I don't think anybody ran out to buy a PS4 just so that they could play VR titles, but I'm still very thankful that Sony decided to put some money behind this. So we've known for a while that there was going to be another PlayStation VR, and now Sony announced the new controllers. And I gotta go into a whole tangent here because the PlayStation VR, it was really cool, but it wasn't without its flaws. First of all, it was leveraging a lot of old technology. The PlayStation camera, which had existed before, and the Move controllers, which I have right here. These things were not designed for virtual reality. They were actually from the PS3 era with the PlayStation Move, I think it was called. It does some like rudimentary tracking using these glowing balls here on the top. There's a camera perched usually on top of your TV, and the camera sees the colored balls here, and then it knows where the controllers are. But there's a lot of problems with that tech. First being, you couldn't play this in a space that's very well lit. The apartment that I used to live before this one, I had floor-to-ceiling walls in the living room, so it was very bright. Flat out couldn't play it during the day. It also doesn't have analog sticks, which I guess back in the PlayStation Move days was not so much of a problem, but in VR, well, let's say developers had to come up with creative, not to say clunky ways to get around the lack of analog sticks. Well, that's not the case anymore. The new PlayStation VR controllers now have been built from the ground up with virtual reality in mind, and as such, they feature analog sticks. And that's not all. They have that ring around, which you'll find in most virtual reality controllers. I suspect, though Sony has not actually shown us the new PlayStation VR headset, I suspect it's going to have some kind of inside-out tracking, just like the Oculus Quest. It has 4 cameras here. It maps out the environment, and that's how it knows how you're moving. I suspect the new PlayStation VR is going to have similar technology. That explains the ring around the controller, which, like I said, you will find in most VR controllers. They emit infrared light, which is picked up by the cameras on the headset, and that's how the headset knows where your hands are. On top of that, they're leveraging a technology similar to what they use in the DualSense controllers. Basically, the triggers are going to have the same kind of force feedback you'll find on a PlayStation 5 controller. I have a feeling that's going to add a lot to virtual reality, and it's going to make me wish that the touch controllers on the Oculus Quest 2 had similar tech. One advantage that the PlayStation VR is going to have over the Oculus Quest for a lot of people is the fact that you don't need Facebook integration. Now, this is something I wanted to say in my sponsored video. I reviewed the Oculus Quest 2. It's funny because I bought one and then Facebook sent me one, and if I had seen their email first, I wouldn't have bought this thing because it fell into my spam folder. So I ended up with 2. I gave my brother 1 because I'm a nice guy like that. Mandatory Facebook integration for the Oculus Quest has been a problem for a lot of gamers. That's like being a part of the community and being a bit of a VR evangelist. That's the one thing that ranks the highest in the list of reasons not to buy the Oculus Quest. And like I was saying, this is something I wanted to mention in my video, but I think because it was a sponsored video, it would come off very shilly. But now I feel like I can say that because Facebook isn't paying for this video. Maybe I'm stupid. It wouldn't surprise me because I was told that 400 times today, because that's what using Twitter is like for me. But so maybe it's stupidity, but I don't see what the big deal is having to use your Facebook account to use an Oculus Quest, because I don't know you, but I have something in my pocket at all times that knows where I am, knows who I talk to, knows what I'm into, knows what I buy. It has all the information one could ever want about me. versus Facebook, a social network that I personally haven't used in years, I think. The way I see it, again, maybe I'm being stupid, let me know in the comments, but the way I see it, anything they could get from me with this thing, Google has that 1,000 times over. So I think that concern is a little misplaced, but that's just me. Anyway, back to VR. So, new controllers, better tracking tech, which is, I mean, expected because again, these things were not designed for virtual reality. I like the haptic feedback. I have a feeling it's going, like the moment I play with it on the PlayStation VR, I'm going to wish the Oculus Quest had something similar. Personally, if you ask me, and again, this is not a sponsored video, I still think this is the future. Completely self-contained, wireless virtual reality. We still don't know what kind of tech the next PlayStation VR is going to have. I suspect it's still going to be wired. I hope I'm wrong. But even if it's wireless, if it requires a PlayStation 5, it's going to be more expensive and not as straightforward to use, and you can't just pick it up and take it someplace. I mean, not that that matters right now, but one day I plan on having friends over or taking this to a friend's house again like I used to do in the before times. Man, like, I've been such a fan of VR. Like, my parties here at the house, this was a major hit. This and Beat Saber, people would literally line up to play. I miss those days. If you ask me, I probably will pass on the next PlayStation VR for a while because I don't even have a PS5, but it's likely going to be more technologically impressive than the Oculus Quest 2, and because it leverages the power of the PS5, the graphics are going to blow anything you can play on the Oculus Quest 2 right out of the water. So maybe in the future when I finally buy a PS5, because there's nothing to play on it right now, at least not for me, and you can't find the damn thing anywhere. So Oculus Quest 2 it is for the foreseeable future. But what do you think? Do you care at all about virtual reality? If you do, which of these are you more imagine this is like the next PlayStation VR. Which of these two would you prefer? As always, let me know in the comments down below. Follow me on social media if you haven't already. On Instagram, I post a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Maybe you're into that. I don't know. But that's all the time I have for today. I'm Izzy and I'm done. Than other VR solutions, than other contemporary